Good morning, Nigerians. Welcome to this special interview on the occasions of Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary today. And of course, to join us to celebrate and as well discuss issues around Nigeria's independence anniversary and the journey so far is Mr. Chris Iziguzo, a former national president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ. Good morning, sir, and welcome to Leadership Podcast Service.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor and delight to have you here. I think this is your second time we've hosted you here many years ago.
Yeah, the last time I was here as the NUJ President.
Yeah.
And now I'm here as African President.
Africa. That's good.
Time will be
that's good. I'm
leading
honored.
the world.
I'm honored. African President,
Congress of African
Journalists. Congress of African Journalists. I'm honored to host you, sir. And after that, I think to be global. The World Alliance of Journalists, I think.
God will help us.
Happy Independence Anniversary.
Yeah, we thank God.
All right. Let's start from the theme for this year's celebration, sir. Nigeria at 65, all hands on deck for a greater nation. And listening to that theme, you will want to naturally like it. But I want to ask, does the atmosphere, as we have now, suggest anything to that theme? All hands on deck.
Thank you. When we say all hands on deck,
Yes.
we are simply saying that everybody must be involved.
Yes, unity.
And one thing is that no nation is built by an individual alone. It is a collective action, collective responsibility. Everybody must be involved. You don't leave a country in the hands of political actors alone. Political actors are just managers. They are presiding, they are superintending over the affairs of the nation part-time, But the entire citizenry must join hands to build their nation, And that is the mantra we have preached over time.
Yeah.
Even in the media, we say solution journalism.
Solution journalism.
Development journalism.
Journalism, exactly.
The development journalism that will preach unity.
Correct.
Not journalism that will promote primordial sentiments. Sentiments around religion, sentiments around politics,
yes.
Sentiments around tribe,
Yes,
divisive sentiments. No, that theme is apt. We are at a point where it does appear that the center can no longer hold. And that's why it becomes very, very imperative, highly imperative, that Nigerians from all walks of life, if you are from Northeast, join hands. If you are from Northwest, join hands. If you are from North Central, be part of it. If you are from Southeast, join hands. If you are from Southwest or South, all of us must have to come together to build our nation. Let's bear in mind that nobody is going to build Nigeria.
Except Nigerians.
Except Nigerians. All of us. No matter how we have so built and promoted rancor and bitterness, at the end of the day, we must have to come to the round table and say, Nigeria is ours to build. You understand? We must continue to keep hope alive.
Yeah.
Yes, at the moment, we have an array of challenges plaguing us as a nation, threatening the very foundation of this country. If you go to the Northeast, we are still having a Boko Haram insurgency. If you go to Northwest, we are still having activities of bandits threatening the country from that flank. So, if you come to North Central, we are still having the farmer-header clashes.
Exactly.
If you go to Southeast, we are still having secessionist agitations.
Exactly.
You go to Southwest, and of course South, issue of kidnapping and all that. Yeah. That it's threatening us. But are we going to succumb to that? The answer is no.
Exactly.
All hands
must
be on deck.
You've spoken well. But back to this same thing. Do you think the message of all hands on deck for a greater nation, do you think this message resonates with ordinary Nigerians? Are they happy to have their hands on deck? Are they secure? Are they well fed? That's where...
Well, we get to that point where, like I said earlier on, it does appear that the center can no longer hold. People are, lamenting, because a hungry man is an angry man.
Exactly.
Somebody that hasn't got food to eat will not be talking about all hands on deck.
Exactly.
Somebody that is hungry cannot be jumping up in church.
Or insecure.
You know, somebody that is not safe cannot be talking about all hands on deck.
Exactly.
But are we going to give up? The fact that you have built a house and from time to time some armed robbers will invade your area, estate, community, is that enough for you to submit and abandon your house and run away? No. All you need to do is to come up with new strategies, security strategies on how to protect your house, which you have spent so much money to build. So you're not going to abandon it to the hands of criminal bandits, right? So I decided to use that analogy to situate it with our present day Nigeria. Because we have this array of challenges, plethora of challenges, difficulties, economic challenges threatening us as a nation, insecurity plaguing the country. Is it enough for us to abandon the country? The answer is no. We must have to find solution to our problems. You understand? And oftentimes, we think that the solution to our problem is completely domiciled in the hand of the leader, completely. No. Everybody must contribute. You know, in my part of the country, it is said that when you come together and urinate, you understand? It will have more foam. It will foam, which means it will make impact.
Yes.
But if you do it alone, it can't work. You understand? So when we come together, it's like the broom. If you take it in sticks, you can break it easily. But if you put the sticks together and try to break, is it possible?
No.
That means we must come together as a people, unite, and confront our challenges.
All right.
You understand?
All right.
So, like you said, the person that is hungry,
yes,
can he put hands on deck?
Yes.
It's difficult, but it is not impossible.
All right. So briefly, how will you describe the journey of 65 years? Are we where? No, of course you have said it. We are not where we ought to be, but it's a journey. So how will you describe this journey of 65 years? Are we heading somewhere, or it's a kind of a rudderless journey?
You know, we traveled to a country in Asia when they were celebrating 70 years of the new Republic of China.
Okay.
And by the time we saw their display, that date coincides with Nigerian independence, October 1st. They will do again by October 1st.
I think they've started.
The celebrations are
started, yes.
Good. And by the time we looked, I was discussing with my friend from Kenya. His name is John. I said, the way these people are, do you think Africa, when do you think we're going to catch up with them? He laughed at me, laughed at what I said, and said it's going to take Africa. He's not referring to Nigeria. That means we are taking the continent as a collective. You understand? He said it's going to take Africa 150 years for us to get to where China is today. And he added something. That is by the time we start. What he was simply trying to say is that we have not started.
Exactly.
You understand? That's a challenge. So am I going to throw the same answer? Apparently, somehow. If we start, we definitely will get to somewhere someday.
With determination.
But one thing is, we are not where we used to be. But we are not where we ought to be. That means we have taken off. We may not have arrived at our Eldorado or our destination. You understand? I'm not going to allocate percentage of the miles we have covered yet. Let me not stir the honestness. I'm not going to calculate it.
All right.
But I must say that we have taken off.
Yeah.
But it's going to take time. What is it going to take principally? One, is going to take commitment. You understand? It's going to take dedication. It is going to take diligence. It is going to take selflessness. We must be selfless in our contributions. We must not be embarking or engaging in primitive accumulation of wealth. If we continue on that trajectory, we will not achieve anything. But we must begin to see the country as ours to build. By the time we see the country from those lenses, then we would have that collective mindset that we need to take off and build our nation. You understand? We are not the worst country in the world, but we are not the best either. But we can make progress. We have people, men and women, with integrity, you understand, with the know-how, with capacity to make contributions. If you go to outer world, you see a whole lot of Nigerians doing something. They are in different cabinets. If you go to the United States, if you go to Canada, if you go to several countries in Europe, you understand? Our people, Nigerians. And at that point, they are not looking at tribe. They are not looking at your language.
Their competence.
They are looking at your character and your competence, your capacity. You understand? We must begin to promote, capacity. We must begin to promote character. We must begin to promote competence and no longer continue to promote primordial sentiments of he is my brother. He worships, we are in the same religion. We speak the same language. These are the divisive sentiments that have kept us, at one point for years. But as we mark 65 years of our independence, let us begin to see Nigeria as ours, our responsibility to build it. It's not in the hands of another person. It is in the hands of you and I to build Nigeria. Each time you go to the social media and you destroy the country, you run the country aground, you know the name of the country and begin to promote all manner of negativities, I'm telling you, it is yourself you are destroying. Because by the time you leave Nigeria and go to the next country, that passport you have, green passport, bears Federal Republic of Nigeria. And you don't know that you have destroyed the same country and now you want them to treat you fairly. No, you must build your country. That way, other people will respect your country.
All right. At times, people agitate on social media, like you said. They are, in the course of doing that, they run down the country, spoil the country, and actually give the country some bad name. But then, will you blame them when they don't get what they are supposed to get as citizens? Social services, protection, security, education, which are inalienable rights. They don't get this. And we have been there from 1960 to now, 65 years. Our mates are not where we are. You spoke about primitive accumulation of wealth, corruption. All these things are dragging Nigeria back, insecurity and the rest of them. Now, let's look at the immediate past. Under President Olusegun Obasanjo, there was no any serious security issue of national scale. Until Yaradua came, Boko Haram emerged. Jonathan came and we overcome them. He couldn't. Buhari took over for 8 years. They remain. In fact, it's escalated. Tinubu is there now. Killings in the northwest, Zamfara, Katsina, and they said they were doing something. They are doing something. Now tell me, how will you rate Nigeria's political leadership? Even though you said no, we shouldn't leave everything in their hands. When you have our own quota to contribute, how will you rate the present government in terms of security, economy, and even national unity? Because the theme they just choose for the celebration is about all hands on deck for a greater nation. So what do you think they are doing that you think, oh, is on the right path? Oh no, we are not getting this right.
You have only succeeded in regurgitating most of the things I have said. I said, if we are going to build a country of our dreams,
all hands must be on deck, yeah.
We must begin to promote competence.
Okay, yes.
We must begin to promote meritocracy. Merits.
Now, let me cut you short, sir. So, we have corruption. Talking about meritocracy and competence. In this country today, it's about, it's the turn of the South, it's the turn of the North. Do you think all this will take us anywhere?
Turn by turn politics will not, or food is ready politics will not take Nigeria to anywhere.
But that's the same.
Let me tell you.
And it resonates with ordinary Nigerians.
I have told you something. That these divisive sentiments, we must banish them and begin to look at the country as a collective. If the competent hand will be found in Duse,
let's go for it,
to lead the country, why not? If the competent hand will be found in Ife, in Osun, why not? If that competent hand will be found in Obingwa, in Abia, so be it. Let's be looking at the person's character and integrity and competence, capacity. Has he got the capacity You understand? It is because we have continued to promote, the lines you have reeled out. That's what has kept us where we are. We must begin to change the narrative. Our reasoning. Let me tell you, any leadership you have in the country is the leadership the people deserve. Right? Because democracy is about the people.
Yeah. So
centers around the people.
What they choose for themselves.
It is what they have chosen. Some people will say manipulation of electoral system and all that.
Votes don't count.
Let me tell you, it's not spirits that manipulate that process.
It's your brothers and sisters.
It's still your brothers and our sisters. You understand? So when you manipulate, you have only manipulated yourself into hunger, poverty. It's a temporary relief.
Exactly.
You understand? But when you begin to see the country, look beyond your immediate benefits. Look at the bigger picture. To what extent is it going to benefit Nigeria? That's what we should be looking at. It's not just about the bag of salt you receive at the election venue. It's not just about vote buying. They give you 5,000, you sell your conscience for 4 years. You turn around to want to have a country that works. Can it work? It cannot work because you've already sold it.
No,
So we must look beyond pecuniary benefits. You understand? Make the system strong. Build a system that works. Believe in our system. As a Nigerian, I recall President Olusegun Obasanjo during his time as president. He did say that if you wake up in the morning in Sokoto and clean your house, and the man in Aba wakes up, does the same thing. The man, where are you from?
Oyo State.
The man in Ibadan wakes up, does the same thing. The man in Bauchi does the same thing. And people from across their villages and towns clean their house. Are we going to have a dirty Nigeria?
It becomes national.
That means it's a collective thing.
Yeah.
All hands must be on. Rather than sit down and point, Tinubu has failed. What has been your own contribution to make your immediate environment where you have found yourself to work? If your own environment works, it will be difficult for the man at the helms to destroy it. You understand? So we must collectively build the Nigeria of our dream. I don't want to begin to point accusing fingers. He has failed. He has passed. He has failed. In your own scruffy, tight corner, what has been your contribution? As a journalist, what has been your contribution? As a policeman out there, what has been your contribution? As a civil defense person, as a market woman, hawking tomatoes, onions, and pepper, how do you sell your wares? As the man that is selling garri using mudu, how much do you sell? Are you making more profit than you buy? These are the things we must begin to gauge.
Exactly.
Not when you engage in sharp practices at your little corner and you are there pointing accusing finger at the other end. No, it is not the way to go.
So definitely
So
all hands
must be on deck.
People need probably public awareness to know that, we are all stakeholders in the Nigerian project and all of us need to come together and do something to move the country forward. Now, hopefully on October 1, the President Bola Tinubu will address the nation, has been done traditionally. What kind of things will you expect the president to talk about? Because there are rhetorics. Oh, congratulations, we are doing this, we are building that. What do you think will be unique that the president, will you expect the president to talk about that will actually appeal to our current situation?
Well, it does appear that there are policies. Yes, when he came on board, he did say that he was going to make hard decisions. Yeah. He's going to come up with decisions that may not resonate with Nigerians at that moment.
Exactly.
At the short term, we may not be all excited. Yeah. But in the long run, Nigerians will be happy. Yeah. You understand? But it is good as you try to build roads. Let people that will be alive to drive through that road also be there. Because if all the people that will make use of the roads you built die in the process of constructing the road, that means you have succeeded in wasting your time. You understand? Yeah. So I want to see a broadcast that will resonate with Nigerians.
Ordinary Nigerians.
Ordinary Nigerians at this point. He must understand that there are difficulties, challenging moments. Poverty is on the increase. People can hardly feed. He must understand that. He must find himself like that Nigerian out there. And now speak hope to that life that is probably hopeless. Assure that person that is out there that does not have the next meal, he doesn't know where the next meal will come. Give that person hope. That's the kind of broadcast I want to hear, I want to see. Not the broadcast of reeling out, we have done this, we have done that. What are we expecting in the coming days, weeks, and months that will be able to, meet up with the yearnings and aspirations of the ordinary man in the streets? That is what we want to see. Not about the next tax, where it is coming from, but it's about the next policy that is going to positively impact on the life of that school child that his or her parents cannot pay his school fees. You understand? That is what I want to hear. We have a whole lot of policies that are beginning to affect most of our children that are studying abroad. What effort is government making to ensure that we meet up with those difficult moments that we're experiencing? I want to hear from him. It's not about the beautiful speeches. The speech may not necessarily be beautiful, but let it resonate with the Nigerian out there.
And finally, so we have come a long way, 65 years. Now, 65 years ahead is a long time. So let's say let's take 50% out of it, the next 32 and a half years. Where do you see Nigeria if all hands should be on deck and everything
First of all,
go well?
If a man that was born in 1960, October 1,
yes,
is 65 years now, right?
Yes, yes.
That means the person should thank God, because life expectancy here is not anywhere near 65, right?
Yes, they go, yes.
That means the person at 65 ought to have achieved anything a man of that age should achieve, right? So that is the way Nigeria ought to be. That man that is 65 years old. But you cannot be 65 and be behaving like a toddler. Somebody that is 10, 20, 30, 40, you should live 65 years. You understand? So, well, we may not have arrived at our desired destination. You said in a half mile, that is 32 and a half years.
Yes.
Yes, 32 and a half years.
Yes,
so in the next 30 years plus, I want to see a Nigeria that works. A Nigeria where you go to the polling booth, you cast your vote, and that your vote counts. A Nigeria that will look at the politician that wants to give him money to buy his conscience, and he will say, no, we will not accept it. Tell us what you are going to do.
A Nigeria that will actually deal with
corruption. I want a Nigeria where the voter will be the king, and the person that has been elected will be somebody that holds mandate in trust.
For the people.
Not the leader that will begin to lord it over the mandate owners. We want to see a Nigeria where corruption can only be remembered, as a reference in the past. It happened. If you remember some 10 years ago, this kind of thing happened. It happened. Thank God it's not happening in Nigeria today. That's the kind of Nigeria we want to see. A Nigeria that works for ordinary Nigerians. Now, let me tell you, I know you may not like this. I want to see a Nigeria where the legislature becomes a part-time business. It's not a full-time
that we have now.
Job.
Of course, it is
because
necessary.
oftentimes
so be it.
We are running a bicameral legislature, the House of Representatives, and we have the Senate. When you put them together, we are talking about 469 Nigerians. They sit there almost half of the year. They are either on recess, they are either on break, they are on holiday. Sometimes they are giving prayers in their mails. This is not the kind of Nigeria we want. You understand? You can come and do that business of legislature, legislative business, do it part-time and go. It's not something that should take all the time. You understand? So some of these things should be reviewed. I want to see a Nigeria where if you come to the cabinet of the president, you don't need to see some humongous number of people. You understand? It should align with the mood of the nation.
Exactly. So that will cost,
cost
of governance.
We want to see a Nigeria where the president can fly on the same flights, commercial flight, with other Nigerians.
Without fear of the unknown.
Without fear of the unknown.
All right, thank you very much.
I can go on and on.
Exactly.
The Nigeria we need.
But
for now, before we get there, all hands
must be on deck. Thank you very much. Mr. Chris Isiguzo, a former national president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists and currently president of the Congress of African Journalists. It was nice having you here.
My
and
pleasure.
We hope we also see you again. Thank you, viewers, for being with us. And once more, happy independence. Do have a wonderful celebration. It's bye from here.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.